Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Anonymous Source Strange History. It'll be a short one, I promise. But as short as it will be, like she said, it was still good. So, as you guys know, I have started doing Strange History, and this is how it goes. I take the book, I do this, open the page, meet yin and yang. What's on the other side? It's a two-sider. Okay, usually there's an option of two, so let's... And then I'll do those. I do those ones different. The head-shaped pumpkin mold. And Terence and the Mayans. Okay. Alright, so the head-shaped pumpkin mold. Considerable skill is required to produce a good likeness. Of what? The human head. Evidently, John CZESZCZICZKI right there, second line at the end. John Kaczynski, I'll call him. Unabomb. Was not a skilled carver of jack-o'-lanterns. So in 1937, the Ohio inventor patented forming configurations on natural growths. It was a head-shaped mold that you were supposed to place around immature pumpkins, so I guess they would grow into that shape. As they grew and ripened, they would take the shape of the mold. Yeah. Result: pre-carved jack-o'-lanterns. As clever as it was, Kaczynski's idea failed to catch on. Then at the bottom, sometimes they just have random shit at the bottom of the page. It says 6 baseball players with weird nicknames. Okay, so let's check it out. 1. Putsy Caballero. That's a good one. 2. Togi Pittenger. Let me know if you've heard of any of these. I've never heard of any of these. Any of them, no. 3. Bots Nicola. 4. Pid Purdy. 5. Twink Twinning. Or Twink Twining. And 6. Waddy McPhee. It's kind of weird. Alright. What do we got? Voto Cacarecto, the warship that got too big. Okay. Voto Cacarecto. Politicians need to be thick-skinned, right? Not anymore. That may explain why in 1958 a rhinoceros was elected to serve on Sao Paulo, Brazil's city council. A rhinoceros. A real rhino. Not Ron DeSantis, like the animal. With a population of 3 million, the city was suffering from unpaved streets, open sewers, food shortages, and rampant inflation. But officials had ignored these issues for years. But I guess the rhino didn't, right? So when the city council elections were held, a group of fed-up college students decided to nominate Cacareco, a female rhino living at the Sao Paulo Zoo. Part of the attraction might have been that her name means garbage in Portuguese. And as you know, they speak Portuguese in Brazil. In all, 540 candidates, including many well-known incumbents, participated in the election, but voters were so eager to embarrass the failed city government that Cacareco, I'm using the accent there, yeah I am, won easily with a spectacular 100,000 votes. I'm sure it wasn't exactly 100,000. And even though she was disqualified from serving due to being a rhinoceros, the rhino's big win made news around the world. Better a rhinoceros than an ass, a voter explained. And the quote made Time magazine. I agree with that quote. I'm going to save that. I'm not going to forget that. Oh, it doesn't say who. It's just a voter. I'm going to have to say a smart Brazilian this quote came from. Cacareco's election left a legacy. Today in Brazil, a protest vote is known as a voto Cacareco. That is a good story. I never read that. I've read some of these, of course. I've done this before, but all those got deleted by YouTube. But voto Cacareco. I agree. I like that. That's pretty cool. I don't want to read the warship story. You don't want to hear about the warship, right? Let's do something else. Like, didn't I read this one before? No, I didn't want to read that one either, because that one... all right, bunnies in the oven, alligators in the sewers. I mean, you can't go wrong on either of those, but we'll go with bunnies. In 1726, an English housewife named Mary Toft told an unbelievable tale. She convinced doctors that she'd given birth to a litter of stillborn rabbits in front of a midwife and a doctor, no less. So apparently a midwife and a doctor witnessed this birth. An investigation was conducted by the surgeons at King George I. His conclusion, Toft was telling the truth. Well, of course, they had amazing doctors and medicine and everything at that time. The surgeon, they probably used one of these magical lie detector tests that they have. The surgeon even went so far as to publish a medical report about her, and people all over the UK were so sympathetic to her case they stopped eating rabbit stew. Don't ever stop eating rabbit stew. Don't eat Robert stew. Eat rabbit stew. Depending on which Robert it is, of course. Toft's explanation. While she was pregnant, she got startled by a rabbit and thereafter dreamed of rabbits. She craved rabbit meat and was tempted to chase them around. It wasn't such a far-fetched story in the 1700s. People believed that a pregnant woman's thoughts and actions could directly affect her baby's characteristics. Sounds like how mentally ill leftists are these in 2023. Wow! Sadly, Toft was lying. Oh. How did they find out that she was lying? How? I mean, this is crazy. This is outrageous. I don't believe it. And it eventually came to light that in a bid for fame and fortune, she had bribed people to bring her dead rabbits, which she actually hid inside her body. So she put dead rabbits in her cunt, which she actually hid inside her body, and then pretended to deliver out her cunt. Wow. The public was reportedly furious at the ruse, the medical community was embarrassed, and the authorities were eager to punish her. What was the result? Toft went to prison for 4 months after a court exposed her as a cheat. 4 months for getting dead rabbits, putting them in your cunts, popping them out your cunts, telling people that you're the rabbit baby lady. Making money, fame. Oh, she's not that famous. I never heard of her. If I haven't heard of her, she can't be that famous. You ever think that about yourself? Like if you can't be that, this person can't be that famous if I don't know who they are. Like I'm sure you. Come on, don't lie. All right. Should we do alligators in the sewers? Because this is true about New York City and. I know this story. Let's read it. Why are they called urban legends, you ask? Well, you didn't ask, but I'm telling you. Rumble is not... This is not going to Rumble? I would like to continue streaming to Rumble, but... Damn it. Alright, whatever. Anyway, why are they called urban legends? In the 40s, folklore started collecting modern American legends and noticed that they had different characteristics than like older urban legends. They called these legends urban belief tales or city tales. The words urban and city indicated their darker, more modern themes, even though the stories weren't necessarily based in cities. The term evolved to become urban legend in the 1960s. Okay, let's get to the alligators, hopefully. The most famous example of the urban legend tells of a giant race of giant alligators living in the sewers beneath New York City. Like a lot of urban legends, there's a grain of truth to this tall tale. An alligator actually was found in a Harlem sewer in 1935. It's probably due to the migration of animals, and I know the story. Why am I talking? But the legend was born, and even though scientists have completely... an alligator was actually found in the Harlem sewer in 1935. It didn't live there, though. Probably just visiting from Florida, in parentheses. But the legend was born even though scientists have completely discredited the notion that warm-blooded, sun-loving reptiles could survive in cold, dark sewers. There are still people today who will try to convince you that there are really alligators living in the Big Apple sewers. Their best friend's brother's teacher's accountant's aunt said so, and she swears it's true. I love this book. Alright, the riddle of the Sphinx, and then I'm out of here, okay? Because I'm not streaming to Rumble, which was the point of me doing this, was to stream to Rumble. Look at what my hat did to the front of my head, making me look like I have this little piece of hair. Like Stuttering John says, it's in the middle of growing. Right now I look like the Dutch boy. Alright, the riddle of the Sphinx. The most famous riddle of all, yes, even more famous than why did the chicken cross the road, is the one that the Sphinx asked every human she met. A fierce creature, the Sphinx had a woman's head and breasts, a lion's claws, an animal's body, a lion is an animal, a dragon's tail, and a bird's wings, and if you couldn't answer her riddle, she ate you. Sounds like many women with purple hair these days yelling about transphobic people. What walks on 4 feet in the morning, 2 feet at noon, and 3 feet in the evening? The only man to answer correctly was Oedipus Rex, the king. I actually have the 3 Theban plays, the book, right below me, I believe. Oedipus the king. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Who accidentally married his mother and then poked his own eyes out. As for the Sphinx, once Oedipus bested her, she killed herself. The answer, if you didn't know it already, is a man. He crawls at the beginning of life, walks upright in midlife, and walks with a cane in old age. Tell that riddle to one of your family members. This has been Strange History. Thank you for watching. Anonymous source with JJ. A Duck Taco production. Thank you for watching. I hope you like the stories. Let me know if you want to see more.